How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. We got ourselves some finals from the Fanboy 3 locals. Cross 7 Superior Turbo. Opening up with the 1-cost Evo, not something you normally see, and we're going to answer straight back by passing over 5 memory and trashing both level 5s. A little bit of a clogged hand to start things off, not ideal. Got to reiterate, this is finals. Again, actually getting to show off this deck on the channel. Have made some changes since the profile, which will be linked in the cards. Terriermon with the Digivolve is not ideal, but it's the way of memory choking. Hitting the Taiki is not ideal either. I was kind of hoping it would float, and we don't have kill spells in hand, so we're going to use a missed memory boost, trash 2, and draw 1. That is going to actually give us our first rookie for the next turn. So both of us kind of on not ideal starts. Terriermon's going to hit, is going to die, is going to save. I trashed a little bit off screen here. The tripod did get knocked a little bit, and right on cue gets knocked back into position. Kind of spoke that one into existence. You see a little bit more of the trash, but the main pieces are going to be over on that, I guess, bottom right side of my map, right side of the screen. The robots kept separate from everything else. Going to use the Gaogamon to reduce the cost, playing it for 2, and then float into a second Gaogamon. So now we have 2 blockers to try and slow down the chip as we sit 3 and 3. Both of our level 4s kind of putting in more work than initially expected to. Gonna load the Shoutmon with the Trio Tamer. Gain just a little bit extra memory. And looks like we're gonna use both Trio Tamers go up to 4. Ginkaku and Ignite in the back. Looks like we're trying to build the perfect stack. However, we are on Demi-Meramon as the egg. If it's Sunomon, then when you go for the combo, you actually get more value out of it. Demi-Mera is more for when you do get your rookies and are actually trying to just trade them in, get some big value. So I guess, like, in hindsight, if it's... Well, I mean, to be fair, we didn't even see the Proto. It got milled. If the Proto was played early, then maybe you'd be able to kind of cycle through your Demi-Mera and try and get a Sunomon. It is a 3-2 split in favor of Demi-Mera because more often than not, you do just want the draw deletion. But if you are going for perfect stack, then Sunomon is the better choice. We do have 7. The Tama actually doesn't get to go in because it is Digimon, not Digitama, with different set IDs. So the Starmon's actually, ironically, doesn't work for X7S. And that is going to bottom deck one of the blockers. And it's looking pretty good as we go over with 2 memory. Going to go over to Blue Mirror, draw 2, trash 2. We are going to trash the 80. We're going to go double robot. We are going to gain 1 back from the Ginkaku. We're going to go 9k at security. Is going to hit the Taiki, which kind of was expected. And we're going to go with the Proto, because I don't think he has a way of setting up lethal unless he finds like a second X7S. Trio Tamer certainly makes things nice and simple. It doesn't look like we're going to load up the Taiki just yet. Never mind. Puts the Darulu under. But do you want to put that under the Trio Tamer? I'm going to go Sparamon first. So I don't think Darulu is like... Yeah, it wasn't the ideal target. Instead, going to put the Ballista instead. Hasn't needed the Memory Tamer because we've been passing him a decent amount of memory thanks to the Trio. Going to use the Spada to check top 3, find some pieces. Going to use the King mode, take it to hand. And we are going to hit the Night Raid, but no option cards on X7S, so we will not be hitting them with a rookie from Trash, to be fair. I mean, I guess there are rookies in Trash. The Protos are level 3, so they would be able to be played off the Night Raid. One cost Evo in the back. A little bit short on memory. And we are going to play Final Crossplay, which is going to kill the Blue Meramon. And going to get the Unsuspend. And then it gets to attack. Reboot thanks to the Sparamon. So, not ideal. Did get set straight back. Gonna just build up again, but once again it is a Demi-Meramon. Glaive Memory Boost gonna bring us back the Blue Man, and we are gonna swing at security. This time it will die. Spin to float into the Gaogamon. You can see the hand does have a decent amount of pieces. Gonna use the Nidhogg. And we're going to put the Shoutmon there. Going to close out once again, get 2 blockers. It doesn't float though because we don't actually have the XT in there anymore because we actually bottom decked it off the last spin. But now both of these will float into Proto. And we do have another stack in the back. Once again, we are still on that Terriermon rather than the 2 of Suno. Unfortunately, just didn't see enough rookies really to kind of like turbo through. Gonna find that second X7S, so worst case, if it doesn't get blocked, it's not gonna get to do anything. So we are just going to play straight out, get the draw 1, trash 1. Gonna hammer spark them for 1. I'm gonna go into the Shoutmon. And we're just gonna put a couple of extra pieces on there. I think what's just being clarified here is the Shoutmon Star Sword, even though it's in the stack, the Shoutmon Star Sword being used to set up the Digicross isn't classed as part of the unique set ID. So we are gonna bottom deck the XT in order to play around the float. We are going to draw, check top 3 once again. Omni Shout going to get picked up, and we're going to swing, and then does he have a means of closing out game number 1? Shoutmon King with the Shoutmon underneath, gives it rush, and it will swing for game 1. Alright, we are going to be starting off game number 2. Once again, Mirage setting up, but this time, Tapir is going to be set up in the back. So we do actually see some rookies, a decent number of rookies as well. Gaogamon coming down. Isn't going to have any effect really in this matchup because he's not going to be gaining back any memory off of anything that isn't a tamer. I guess the Ignite can come up thanks to the Merva, but very, very unlikely. Really just playing the rookie because it is an extra body. Going to play the Taiki off of the Shoutmon King mode. Pretty decent start with the rookie in the back. We're going to pass 4. Tapir could come out. You can see, looking to try and maybe blow it up, but I'm going to go for the risk instead. I'm going to go Tapir in, swing in, we'll get the draw, then we'll get the draw and trash. What are we trying to set up? I'm going to put the Proto in the trash. And then we're going to use the Digimon XT to come down. Draw 2, trash 2. Going to put the Anubismon down, and this is probably where we made a memory mistake. We gained back a memory off the Nidhogg, and we shouldn't have trashed it. We should have just passed 1. You can see open pass there, yeah. So pretty unfortunate. Pretty unfortunate. In hindsight, definitely did not need to do the Nidhogg. Instead, pass 1, then it makes things a lot more difficult for this this chip turn to actually get value. Because he's at 4 memory thanks to the Trio Tamer, and now we've just had to let these swings go through. He was always going to get 1, but it would have been pretty difficult for him to do anything that's like super expensive. This comes down for 1. So we would be on 0, but instead we're on 3. Actually, I guess we'd be on 1. Now, is this going to swing and get some extra damage? It's not big enough to get a swing plus piercing check, thankfully. It's going to swing into itself. Yeah, swinging at the XT, taking that fight anyway. The Trio Tamer now should be getting the setup. Of course, the old King mode, the secret, can basically be used as fodder for anything else. I'm going to use the Zeeg. Shoutmon under there as well. X7 does get the pop, and out comes Proto instead. And there's our Sunomon. Now setting up that perfect stack. Gonna swing at security. There's no blocker, so might as well go for it. There is a piercing check on the way if he does go into it. I guess it does have a... Oh yeah, the Z gives it blocker, and it's gonna float into the Digimon 80. Draw 2, trash 2. Gonna do the Anubismon and then the Shoutmon. I'm gonna Night Raid back the Shoutmon. Pretty optimal setup there. Did have the scatter mode that we sent there earlier, so the Anubismon facilitates another Digimon that we can Digivolve over, which is crucial. Shoutmon there, of course, kind of solos this matchup as well. Darulemon's already in stack, which makes it a little bit more difficult to shrink things. Now that it's already been committed to the robot. Starmon's in the back, and we're going to just play a scatter mode, not committing just yet, because we're still missing the blue man. And now things become a whole lot more expensive. We don't have a blocker, so Starmon's just going to get the draw that it can. There's our blocker in trash, so just need one more thing to get spun. And then we will be able to go into a blocker. Just going to pass us one. And we are going to push out. Still missing the robot. Going to swing. He wanted it to not die, but it does. And despite that, we are not on fire. No blue mirrors to be seen anywhere. So these dogs in hand are going to be doing nothing. Nidhogg's going to gain us one. And then the first to four disappear. We do find the blue Meramon, though, thanks to the Suno. Which is huge, because now we can actually start playing the game. Gain the memory back. Off of the Ginkakumon. Gonna go Psychmon at security. Because we actually need it in trash. It doesn't matter though, because it doesn't die. Eismon is gonna swing and is gonna die. Gonna go XT, it lives. Go Anubis. Which is gonna bring back the Gazimon, which is gonna gain back the 2 memory, and then brings us to a lethal situation. Where he has to try and find 4 checks. And the Psychomon has to go. He is going to go for the risky play. And he is going to find exactly what he needs in order to get the memory. In order to be able to clear the board. The problem is, though. He is trying to get rid of the Psychomon. But Night Raid's going to bring that boy right back. The Timberlands give him too much staying power. Just comes back in. And that is pretty much going to be game number 2. The Psychomon and Gazimon going to swing. We're going to be going into the final game. Alright, game number 3. Exactly what you love to see in finals. Dog Loop doing what it can. And we are going to see the Tapir set up. And we are going to play the Gazi once again. Pretty much the same opening turn from game number 2. This was actually on the back of a mulligan. Because it just straight up did not work. Tapir going to get the draw. And then the... I did the draw trash 1 instead of the draw for some reason. So we're going to get the draw on the second one. Would have made things just slightly simpler. And we're going to blow up the Gazi, passing 1. And that is going to set up the Proto and the Gizmon XT. The problem is we actually don't have a rookie here. We've slightly overcooked it. This might have actually been the time to not go for chip damage and instead go for a... I said just blow up the Tapir, get as much draw power as possible. He's going to choke us back to 1 with that Shoutmon King with a Sparta underneath. So he's going to be finding those pieces quite quickly. Again, still not finding what we're looking for. AT gets the value. Going to blow it up, though, with the Death Claw just to try and kill off the board. Keep it nice and small. We'll float into a blocker and then pass him 4 with the scatter mode. We may not be able to find a rookie, but we'll certainly find a whole bunch of cards with the scatter mode hitting the field. Has to try and answer it. This set really has come down to the wire. We've got a second Trio Tamer and a Taiki there as well. Plenty of resources. Just keep springing bodies back to the field if he has the rush. Jamming on my Eismon. Going to go into the blue mirror. So there's a mistake here. Should have gone for double Nidhogg. And you can see we consider it. But instead we set up the Gizmon AT. Not realizing that we don't have the memory inherit. So it is draw 1, trash 1. And we actually drew into a third Nidhogg. So like in hindsight, instead of going for the AT, could have gone for double Nidhogg in order to keep turn. Then you would have to have a very greedy situation where you go swing Proto, it dies. Swing XT, it dies. It brings back the Proto and that swings for game. But instead, we pass him 1 memory with a Shoutmon in raising. What could possibly go wrong? Shoutmon X. Away goes Anubis. Gonna swing. Demonic Disaster. Brings back... There's no Psychmon there, so we're just gonna bring back the Tapir instead. Takes the 2 checks. And you can see we're starting to count those unique set IDs. 1 memory was all we needed. X7S comes out, and you can see I'm already picking up the blocker. You know that that's getting spun. Passes exactly on 0. Still able to keep turns, swing for 2 more checks. But first, it's a brand new Digimon, so let's use the Spada, pick up something. No option cards, so Night Ray not going to be doing anything. A final Crossblade will take the game. So 2-1 in this very close match between X7S Turbo and Anubismon Loop. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one for more.